Hi, this is Srinivas Gattani again. I wanted to make this video which is called The Nature of Technology. And this is in continuation with the video which I made 2 days ago, where I shared my journey in the last 4 years, starting from COVID and then came the vaccines and how did it intertwine with the crypto industry. So, mankind has been gifted with this acute observations, and using those observations uh, to create tools for ourselves. And that is a major separator between us and the animal kingdom. It started with the discovery of fire and then the control of fire, which helped domesticating and converting human beings from nomadic hunter gatherers into settlers at a single place, because that was an important turn which led to building of cities and eventually led to creation of civilizations, and which grew into larger countries, and to this day where we have a huge human population, probably the highest in the entire history of if not the mankind, probably the globe as well. So this gift of creating our own tools and making life more easier and reducing the human labor and increasing the human security, all of it was good while the technology worked for us, for human beings. It was our creation, and it led to our development. So, as technologies increase, the technologies have a two pronged nature. It leads to conflicts as well, because the uh, the inner animal which is still present in the human beings, the instinct to fight for survival, makes us use technologies against ourselves as well, because human is also an animal which has similar instincts. The idea, the entire game is to learn to get over these instincts. If we are able to win over our instincts, we win as a human being, because then we learn to not fight and then go ahead and cooperate with each other to build something bigger and find a newer purpose in our own life. So the problem with the two prong approach is that this knowledge of or this at least not knowledge, but this idea of not understanding that we don't need to have conflicts, the idea to subjugate our own instincts to fight or the insecurities for survival leads to creation of technologies like the atomic bomb, the missiles, all the weapons, the defense systems and all, which have one single purpose, that is to destroy other human beings and increase the occupation of resources by the creator and controller of that technology. So even the internet technology and the computer, all the computers, high tech and all, uh, comes from the same thoughts and the same psychology uh, as the creation of the weapon, because in every technology which is created first is quickly weaponized and then commoditized later. That's how it has been all the time. But in case of the internet, computer science and all, the weaponization has been very stealthy, and people have not realized that they have compromised their privacy to a great extent, and are living in digital prisons, which they have ignored and uh, involuntarily helped in aiding and creating and reinforcing this digital prison for themselves. The rea- and now most of the population do not understand the digital transformation is leading uh, where exactly they are talking about metaverses for say about uh, 5 odd years, and there have been video games which have been around for like 15, 20 odd years, where people have created their own digital avatars, and then they immerse themselves into a different world altogether, and then they get to identify themselves as a part of that world. And their digital identity has a huge toll on their own psychology, and then they start losing their identity as a human being. And so this did not just happen. This is a systematic there is a systematic intelligent design to this entire process. And people who find happiness, or should I say, or are happy to take this route, will ultimately probably one day consent to be happy to be in the digital world all the time, rather embracing their own reality. There's a bit of a spiritual angle to, not bit of it, but the foundation of this thing is actually spiritual. Not many people who are able to find spirituality or at any point of their life will not be able to relate to it. And it's a very different topic for a different time, because that's why we have religion, which controls most of the actions and justifies wars as the biggest impact which it does on mankind. Actually, wars are justified by different sorts of religion, and the calling goes into the psyche of the human beings, invoking their primal sense, and where they find the conditioning which they had since childhood to be related to a particular group or community. And the conditioning is as such that you have to protect that community, and anything out of that community is actually a threat. So now, the world, we know that there is something called as Agenda 2030, and there is a very well-heeled group of people who have a very detailed plan of how do we get to 2030, and there is a huge amount of population on the earth. It needs to be under control, if not decimated. The population, if not decimated, it has to be controlled. And the way to control is a path through technology. The control can uh, can bring happiness as they contemplate, only till people are ignorant. If people are not ignorant about what's going on, the happiness is just a I don't know how will that come about. So the choice of which way do you want to go is very important at this point of time using technology. That you cannot fight or you cannot reverse a technology until unless the only way to stop or a technical progress being made by certain people is war, actually. As we saw in the first World War and the Second World War, there were thousands of new technical advances which were made. There were so many new advances which were made, which we do not see commoditized in our current day life. But it has been very those technical advances have been very well documented. For instance, quantum theories did come about just in the Second World War period. There were so many scientists like Niels Bohr, Albert Einstein, Fermi and so on and so forth, who created all these theories about quantum computing, mechanics and so on, and which is a tall order. I don't understand all that by myself, by the way. And but I see that the quantum computers, which has been started has become the talk of the town, other than AI and crypto, in the last 5 or 10 years, all uh, uh, have to credit the advances which have been made starting near about that time in the World War II era. So technology can be paused for a while if for the groups who are pushing that certain technology, but it cannot be really switched off until unless something huge happens. So what do we do in that case is, we are at a crossroads where people across the globe have huge amount of knowledge about what's going on. We live in the age of internet, where the information is at the speed of the um, light, pretty much. So, and the misinformation, disinformation wars are as such that it is very difficult to hide the truth if there are people who are really good at seeking it. The information and the truth has been made available, to be very honest, because humanity stands at a crossroad where they have to choose whether they want to get to have their own digital twin created and want to live a life in the digital cryptosphere, digital metaverses, and so on and so forth, which is a huge decision, by the way. But as always, most of the populace is asleep and or dream walking into what they want or what they do not want. So with this video, actually, I just wanted to highlight, there was a post yesterday on Twitter where Elon Musk raised this, that a point about the police in the UK who arrested a 13-year-old girl while she was the victim under some kind of a sexual assault which happened to her on her. And he mentioned that if the police is just following orders, that is not good enough, it is not acceptable, and what is to be done. And I really thought that, okay, a surveillance state, a total surveillance state, can possibly bring some amount of accountability to all these actions. And then if the humans always make mistakes, the technology can be created as such, which is way more intelligent than us. And if it is more judicious and makes decision uh, which is fair, that is very important, by the way. If the decisions making capability of the technology is very fair, then society can be harmonized, and at the same time the crimes can be avoided. But as always, the technology is a dual-edged sword, and a total surveillance state leads to, we do have that kind of technology where the total surveillance state can lead to you not able to think your original thoughts, and not having the freedom to do exactly what you would like to do, even when you are following the law. And you do not, you basically cause no harm or no damage to anybody in the society, and you are at peace with everybody. Even then, the surveillance state can come after you for some interesting, weird reason. It does happen. So I'll quote two examples actually, which happened with me personally, and that's why I think I'm pretty much qualified to talk about it. So when COVID hit, actually, as I talked, I was not able to stomach all that reality which was changing around us, and it made absolutely no sense to me. I had I I went through a period where I thought everything which I grew up on was a lie. Everything, my entire existence on this planet, the conditioning, the structures under which we live, and all was, I thought all of it is a lie. So I took my, I went to the protest and I tried to make some decisions on my own to try to experience my own freedom and live harmoniously with what I have here to my content. So the first experience is in May of 2021. Okay, when the 5G towers infrastructure were installed at a breakneck speed across the country and I think even across the globe, I developed ringings in my ears. That is on a single day. It didn't happen over a period of time. It was one single day back in May 2021. But something hit my ear, and the first time I had it, it made a huge whistle sound, and I had a huge pain sensation, and I almost fell off my chair, and then I thought, okay, I started inquiring with my friends who had some medical knowledge, and I started researching the web what exactly happened to me and all. So it is supposed to be an old age disease uh, where your nervous system gets to uh, not function perfectly when you hit the age of like 70s and 80s. But I am still I'm 41 now. I was 36 or 37 back then, and I do not have a chronic illness of any kind, or a medical history, and it happened on one single day. I realized that it is not a medical issue. Actually, it was some kind of a uh, um, it is some kind of a technological attack on me because of my actions and my speech, my discussions with my colleagues and all. I was not making a huge amount of ruckus at that time or any damage to any property, no, nothing. But and probably some of the assets I was holding in crypto, and it was unbelievable to my surprise that this was because I realized this is because of the 5G. Because when I used to when the lockdowns were partially open and ultimately fully open, I used to drive from one place to another, and I used to feel the change in the ringing sensation. The sensation used to be very high when I was close to a cell tower, and then so I decided in September of 2021, I tried to get away from the city and a little farther, say 30-35 kilometers away from my place, into a small on a mountain uh, where they have bunch of farmhouses put up, and I was there for about 2 months because I thought that there are no mobile towers very close to that vicinity, and probably this will help me understand what's going on with myself, and if there is any cure around. Uh, I was running to get a cure for this weird thing which was happening to me, and the problem was it was not happening to anybody in my circles, and nobody was able to really empathize with the or understand the pain other than my mother and one or two more people, and it is still pretty much here. And then post that, there have been multiple incidences of other kinds of attacks which have happened where I felt that I have been tagged with EMF on my brain, and it happens every now and then, and it has become a pretty routine thing in the last 1.5 years, 2 years, and it is all frequency based from the cell towers. It's all part of that digital prison which I'm talking about, and I have not consented to it. I do not want it. Still, I'm being subjected to it. It's not something which I have chosen, but yeah, that's the second edge of the double-edged sword that technology is. That I am supposedly some kind of a threat to the creators of the technology, and which I don't consider. I'm a normal guy. Second incident was I think back in October and December or October, and I went to cycle along with my two of my friends, and we were cycling onto the highway, say about 20-25 kilometers away from our city, and then I had buzz on my head as I passed through every lamppost. Uh, and when it happened the third time, I stopped my other two friends and asked them that did you feel anything going on your head and all? And they laughed at me, and then they just said, okay, what the hell, why did you stop us? And I was shocked that I definitely felt a kind of a whip, electric whip on my head three times. It was uh, it was hard enough to get me distracted, and it was not that hard that I'll fall off my cycle and all, but it was pretty much there. So I started wondering, what are we getting into? This is the reality where we are, and what are we getting into? This is my personal experience. I'm not talking about something which could have happened or which would have happened, and I heard from here, I heard from there. This is my personal experience which I'm talking about. There have been many other experiences. So we come jumping back to the Elon's tweet from yesterday, where he talked about just following orders by the government is not acceptable. It is not acceptable because the government excesses have gone overboard. From COVID onwards, it has been out in open. The people know it, and then there has been a constant tussle. The society is pretty much broken actually at this point in time. So, and technology seems to be the solution. AI based surveillance and AI based accountability of the authorities seems to be pretty much the solution at this time. But we need to be very careful. How do we design and regulate this thing about? The institutions are still standing, they have not fallen. And if the institutions just put their face in the sand like an ostrich, this behemoth of a technology is not going to go away. So we need to find a level playing field where nobody needs to understand, because a level playing field is a level field. Nobody understands it. People have to come together and comprehend, and take part in the creation of AI, and make their voices heard. Actually, I have not been very vocal about it because they were. I thought I'm powerless to do it. But yeah, now I think that even if you are a nobody, you should voice your thoughts across. It is very much needed. If you are not part of the creation, uh, this is going to be a huge game changer. Actually, this is the third world war, as they say it, is going to be very stealthy. By the way, the creators of these technologies uh, will have it way more cheaper compared to World War II when it comes to the financial cost, as well as the amount of effort and human cost which they will put in versus what they are going to destroy. So the forum should be made bigger. Everybody should come together to participate, and we should, if not at a countrywide level, I would say there should be global uh, institutions which should be brought up to regularize these technologies, because they are out there already. And decentralization of these technologies on blockchain will wreak havoc. And order doesn't come from decentralization, order comes from centralization. and at the moment there is a breakneck speed at which decentralization is happening. Decentralization leads to multiple voices, multipolar world. Now the problem with decentralization is that if there are 5 or 6 bad actors in the decentralization process, and then there are disagreements which cannot be constructively resolved, it fails. So ultimately there will be the power will come to play again, and there is a huge power play among the AI creators who are already on top of the blockchain industry, uh, to bring some kind of an institutional consensus way which is technologically backed, which should work for mankind rather than enslaving mankind further. And because if humanity gets to suffer, the planet is going to get doomed. The goodness that people offer to the world is how the world keeps ticking. If all the negativity which we have wins absolutely, the it's doom actually. Nobody, a lone standing king, I don't know what does he get. So anyways, thank you so much. I don't know, I blabbered a lot, but I'll appreciate any feedbacks if you have any. Thank you so much.